Hey, it's Bob, Two Wheel Guys Garage, with 32 Coupe update to the Corvair Steering Box, part 3, and it really is the 14th today. Get that right. This is the third day that we've been working on this. And had kind of a brain fart this morning, in that if you look at this here, that line is the original line on the workbench where I took this flat surface and made it 43 degrees to match the angle of the old Ford column, which is about 43 degrees. And I didn't think it all the way through, I guess, because I thought, well, the box has to be at 43 degrees, but it does not. As you look here, this was my first line at 43 degrees. But bolting in the vertical plate to the inside so that I could get a depth measurement here to put this zero clearance against the frame, which is about 1/4 of an inch. Might be a little bit more, but I think if it is, I'll be able to hand grind that section off to make it, get that extra bizen off. So anyway, the brain fart is that the box actually, there's no reason that it has to go 43 degrees. And in fact, if you look, it's, I don't know, 30, 35 degrees tilted lower, which gets the box away from that bolt down there on the flange for the header. And it's in a position where it tends to maximize the space on the top two pieces there next to the header. Which this has got to be thick material, so I can always grind that off a little bit and grind that off. And if worse comes to worse, I can actually dimple that side of the header if it proves to be a problem. But I don't think it's going to. Now, another good advantage of this is that this now lessens the angle of the shaft, which requires less of a degree of bend for the U-joint connection to the column steering shaft. So what I'm going to do now, by the way, this is 1/4 of an inch pretty much, so I've got to get that light out of there. This is 1/4 of an inch to move the box outwards and maximize the extension sticking through here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the box at this point, and I'm going to, I've already checked on the background to the vertical plate and its clearance with the horizontal base plate to put the two new holes through the plate here and here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plate out, and I'm going to drill the two back holes. Then I'm going to bolt the plate out to the outside, and then I'll use the plate as a guide to drill the matching two new holes in the frame. So that ought to work all right. So with that, excuse me, I'm going to pause and pull the steering box back out so I can get the plate off. Be back in a bit. Hey, back same day. I've marked the location and drilled pilot holes in the adapter vertical frame plate here and here, and then before I open them up to 3/8, I bolted this down and used this as a guide to drill 2 pilot holes into the frame. So now I take this off, drill these out to 3/8, and then open the pilot hole in the frame to 3/8, and then that should take care of that. I'll be back. Again, pause. I'm back, same day. Let me see. Okay, the vertical adaptive steel plate on the inside of the frame rail is fitted in and bolted down. I had the 2 new holes, as you saw in the previous little video piece. I had a rivet here, an original 32 rivet that in June of '60, when I first got the car, and one of the first things I did was I cleaned all the welds off all the frame, ground all the crap away in preparation for then painting it with the black lacquer. I missed this rivet here, not sure why. Anyway, I'd already ground this flat on the inside so that the plate would fit flush to the inside of the frame. And I thought I'd just pop it out, and it didn't pop out. Then I said, well, screw it, I just ground it off. It's flat. Now, the reason I'm concerned about that being flat there is that cosmetically, to hide this mess, I'm not going to bother trying to fill this in and weld it and all this crap. But I'll leave it open, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cover plate out of thin sheet metal, 18 gauge, maybe I don't know, 18, 20. And that will be a rectangular plate that will be held in place on the outside with the same bolt holes that hold the adapter steering box plate. And what that will do is it basically will cover this area and cosmetically make it look better. Let's see in the open frame hole, obviously. So, kind of a, I don't know. I don't really want to get into welding up holes in frames and stuff. But that's where it's at. That's fitting and done. And hang on a second. There. Put that light out. What I'm going to do now is, having made the depth measurements for how close the steering box is to the outside frame rail where it sticks through the hole I made, my dimensions indicate about 1/4 inch, and to that end I've got this marked off 1/4. I'm going to go over to Lou's tonight and visit with him for a while. And I've got this marked, and I'll have Lou cut that 1/4 inch off, which should then move the plate in. Oh, man. The other thing is, this line at the edge of the tape is the 43-degree mark, where I first was thinking this had to be level with the steering column. But that's not the case. It's actually in a better position when it's on this line. This would be the horizontal 0-degree line on the frame rail. Whoops, dropped the camera, or the phone. Anyway, as I was saying, this will be the new horizontal line, which is better from a number of reasons. That puts these two corners at a better clearance to the exhaust header, and moves this away from the exhaust header flange bolt, so I don't have to worry about that. And yet I'm still got the capability to ground these down a little bit if it's needed. That ought to be easy enough to do. The thing about it is that this was the original angle, but when you come down here, it's still using this point as a pivot point. It's still going to fit in the frame, which is pretty good. As I said, that gives me better clearance to the exhaust headers. It also gives me better access to the 3 bolts that hold the base plate to the steering box. And then lastly, third, is that drops this angle down, making it easier to make a U-joint coupling from this to the new column tube center shaft, the double D. And well, you can, I wasn't thinking it through, I guess, originally, because everything on the old column was 43 degrees, and I put this at 43 degrees, not thinking about this is totally disconnected. So that's good. That'll work out even better. So with that, I'm going to bid you goodbye. This is part 3, and this is segment 1 concluding. Thank you. Take care. Hi, this is Bob, Two Old Guys Garage. This is the 32 Coupe, continuing with the Corvair Steering Box adaptation. Where I left off, I had Lou. Oh yeah, this is November 16th, 2024. It would be part 3, segment 2, I believe. Okay, anyway, where I left off, I had Lou cut the extra 1/4 inch off the base plate so that I could fit this to a 0 clearance and get the position that I want, which is where it is now. and then using the arm and some wedges, wedged it so it was tight. And I just got down underneath and made pin marks. Hi, back again. Anyway, I used the pin marks from underneath to get the angle and attitude of the in the X and Y dimension of the base plate to the vertical plate. And then I constructed I also took two little angle iron brackets and made the angles correspond to where the angle of the base to the horizontal plate was. Then I took it out and I drilled and bolted them together with the angle brackets, and now it's in there. And I had just had it out and had opened up the holes on the base plate, triple holes slightly, and it's good. I got it back in, it's fitting good, it's rock solid, it's zero clearance here. There's a little bit of a gap here, but it ain't going anywhere, and it's actually literally in a better direction to make the mate up to the U-joints. So here the arm is on, here's the clearance that I need. Like to have it a little bit more, and if I need more, what we will do is we'll actually take and machine this a little thinner. Take it, put it in the mill and cut some of the back off to maybe get another 1/8 or something, if it's needed. We'll see. We'll see when I put the cosmetic cover plate on, if it needs it. Anyway, that's a backup of that. Now, with regards to the... there's that light again, sorry. With regards to the joining of the two shafts, this is still too low. I moved it up a little bit, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to order a double joint that's a 5/8 36 plant in this side and a double D on this side, and they're about 5 5/8 inches long. I'll bolt it in here, and then I'll slide this column and this section up and down until it matches the right length to put the double D on there, and I think that'll work out all right. And to that end, tracking them down, I found it eBay, Amazon, and a little tip, I found it on Walmart, which is also free shipping, a little bit longer, and the shipping is not next day like Amazon, but it's certainly cheaper, free shipping, and 43 bucks versus 50 bucks on Amazon, versus if you go to Borgeson, you can give them your left testicle for the prices that they want. Anyway, I'm going to order that joint for it to come in. And the other good news, let me talking about the depth of this. Let me pause for a second here. Same day, I'm back. The steering box, what I did was I did the temporary connection of the base plate and the vertical plate with the two small angle iron brackets to hold the relationship. I installed those, and I'll show you those in a little bit. And then I decided I better bolt it in and see what was happening. And right now, this is basically zero clearance here. It's on the line where I wanted it, with this at a good angle to join up there. And even though it's just a temporary bracket, it's going to be pretty solid. That's only with the 2 bolts holding the plate tight to the frame. So what I'm going to do, it's just a little bit snug on the number 2 and number 3 base plate holes of the steering box. So I'm going to take it apart, and then I'm going to slightly oversize those holes, and not very much, maybe a 32nd to a 16th to make sure I can get it in. And then it's time to go over to Lou and have him weld the son of a bitch up. I don't think I'm going to bother with tack welds and checking, because it's so solid the way it is. It should be good just to weld it together and add the gusset to it. So I'm going to pause again, and I'm going to take this apart, and I'll show you what I did on the bench the next time. Hang on, take care, be back. Back, same day. Well, filming the Anglia YouTube video that I stuck up there yesterday, part 39, I think it was. Lou and I were discussing the situation, and he came up with a good idea. This tube, when fitted, is probably going to end up too short here when it's recessed back to fit the double U-joint. You can't attach it here. Lou came up with a good suggestion. Why not do the bottom end clamp and put it on top of the outside of the toe board, which is this guy. That'll work out very well because this area, if you're looking at this 90 degrees, this area going up to the toe board is already parallel sliced to allow the toe board to be removed. So what I will do is probably take a rectangular thin sheet metal steel plate and connect this to the steel plate and then out on the outer ends to get more leverage to hold it from moving around. If that's a problem, we'll tighten it. So that might be the answer to that issue. Anyway, I think I've said enough for this. I'm going to edit the video, see if I can put something together and throw part 3, segment 2 for the 32 Coupe Steering Box upgrade out there. Take care, everybody.
Alrighty, one gusset. Press it up. So that should go on there something like that.
Yep.
That should work.
That'll work.
Getting hot. Okay, now we're gonna do clean this baby.
All right, same day. Lewis welded the 2 plates together for the Corvair adapter and the 32 forward, letting it cool off. And also made and added a gusset on the bottom. So it should be set to go. All that's left would be eventually to clean it up, prime it, probably paint it black epoxy. Let me see. All right, that's it. I'm going to add this little shorty to the part 3, segment 2. Anyway, catch you all later. Take care. Bye-bye.